The 2025 NFL free agency period has exploded into chaos, leaving fans stunned, players betrayed, and franchises teetering on the brink of disaster. As the dust settles, shocking revelations about colossal contracts, bitter rivalries, and career-altering gambles have turned this offseason into one of the most controversial in league history. Who's playing chess and who's playing with fire? Stay tuned as we unravel the drama that's gripping the NFL. The NFL offseason is supposed to be a time for hope, a chance for teams to rebuild, players to chase their dreams, and fans to imagine their squad lifting the Lombardi Trophy. But in 2025, free agency has become a battlefield of betrayal, desperation, and jaw-dropping gambles. With billions of dollars flying around and careers hanging in the balance, this year's frenzy has sparked outrage, divided fan bases, and left insiders questioning whether the league is spiraling out of control. Let's start with one of the most polarizing moves of the offseason, Sam Darnold's blockbuster deal with the Seattle Seahawks. After a career resurgence in Minnesota last season, Darnold inked a jaw-dropping 3-year, $100,500,000 contract with Seattle. On paper, it looks like a bold move for a team desperate for stability at quarterback. But here's the twist. The Seahawks let go their star receivers DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett in a bid to free up cap space. Fans are furious. How can Darnold succeed without weapons? Critics are already calling this deal the gamble that could sink Seattle. Meanwhile, Tennessee Titans fans are reeling from their team's decision to sign offensive tackle Dan Moore Jr. to a staggering 4-year, $82 million contract. Moore is an experienced but inconsistent player who has struggled to live up to expectations in recent seasons. Titans management is betting big on Moore solidifying their offensive line, but many are questioning whether this investment will pay off or backfire spectacularly. And then there's the Minnesota Vikings' controversial signing of guard Will Freeze to a 5-year, $88 million deal. Freeze has undeniable talent but comes with serious baggage. His injury history raises red flags about his ability to stay on the field. Vikings fans are torn between optimism and outrage as they wonder if this massive contract will deliver results or become another cautionary tale in free agency history. But it's not just these headline-grabbing deals that have fans talking, it's the players left behind. Take Stefon Diggs. Once considered one of the league's premier wide receivers, Diggs suffered a torn ACL last season and now finds himself in free agency limbo. At 31 years old and coming off a major injury, Diggs is unlikely to command a long-term deal. Teams like Tampa Bay and New York may take a chance on him with short-term prove-it contracts, but for Diggs, a 4-time Pro Bowler this offseason feels like a bitter fall from grace. As teams scramble to secure top talent, some franchises have resorted to desperate measures that could haunt them for years. The Bengals slapped T. Higgins with a franchise tag for the second consecutive year, a move that signals Cincinnati's fear of losing their rising star, but risks alienating Higgins long-term. Meanwhile, Joey Bosa's shocking release by the Chargers sent ripples through the league. Once considered untouchable due to his defensive prowess, Bosa was let go in a cap-saving move that has left fans questioning whether loyalty exists in today's NFL. Henry Martin? The chaos doesn't end there. The legal tampering period, a time when teams can negotiate deals before free agency officially opens, has been rife with rumors and backdoor dealings. Insiders report that some players feel betrayed by promises made during these negotiations, only to see deals fall apart at the last minute. For others, it's been an opportunity to cash in, sometimes at their team's expense. Experts are divided on what this offseason means for the future of the league. Some argue that teams overpaying for talent is simply part of doing business in today's NFL, a necessary evil in a hyper-competitive environment where every franchise is chasing glory, but others warn that reckless spending and short-sighted decisions could lead to long-term consequences for both players and teams. Former NFL executive Mike Lombardi weighed in on this year's frenzy. Free agency isn't just about signing players, it's about building trust and culture within your organization. When teams throw money at problems without thinking about fit or chemistry, they're setting themselves up for failure. As March 12th approaches the official start of the new league year, the stakes couldn't be higher. Teams over budget are scrambling to make cuts, players still unsigned are growing restless, and fan bases are holding their breath as they wait for answers. One wrong move could spell disaster not just for careers but for entire franchises. Will Sam Darnold prove he can carry Seattle without Metcalf and Lockett? Can Dan Moore Jr. justify his massive contract by anchoring Tennessee's offensive line? And will Will Freeze overcome his injury history to become Minnesota's savior? The 2025 NFL free agency period will be remembered as one of the most dramatic and divisive in league history. It has exposed cracks in relationships between players and teams while shining a spotlight on the high-stakes nature of building a competitive roster. For some players, this offseason represents an opportunity to rise above adversity and prove their worth on football's biggest stage. For others, it may mark the beginning of the end, a harsh reminder that loyalty is fleeting in a business driven by money and results. As fans eagerly await kickoff later this year, one thing is certain: the fallout from this offseason will shape careers, define franchises, and spark debates for years to come. Stay tuned, because when it comes to NFL free agency drama, we're just getting started.